Anthony, here you are at maybe at the precipice of one of the biggest fight weeks or fight days of your career. I guess what are the emotions right now? Because at first, when I saw you earlier, if looks could kill, I could definitely tell where your mindset was. But how are you feeling just a day away from possibly one of the biggest chances of your life?
Great, man. I'm always ready. I'm always ready for this. As I look around the room, obviously, I feel everybody thinks that this is a game. This isn't a game to me. This isn't a sport to me. I'm not coming here for an experience, and I'm not coming here to do anything less than to sign the contract after Dana gives it to me. It's already in stone. It's already set. I've seen it 3 months ago. Nothing else needs to be done other than to work with my two hands. I have nothing to say to him. I had nothing to say to him, and being in here and being in this building, it's all just right and where it's meant to be. So there was no surprise, just excitement to get in there and stop the talking and start the action.
And you had a great career over at CFFC. You're currently the champ. How do you think that will transition for the big stage over here? Do you think that, a lot of times when people get that first fight in the UFC, there's nerves, there's jitters. Do you think you're going to have any of that on fight night tomorrow?
I felt like I was always fighting somewhere that I didn't belong to be. I always felt to be bigger, a step ahead, and everybody always told me to slow down, that I need to not think like that, and my confidence is going to get me killed, and it's got me nowhere but then in front of Dana White. So I'm going to continue to do what I always do, man. The lights don't do anything but show that I'm nothing but more confident standing in the cage across from that other guy.
And I think a lot of people, when they look at you've been around the sport for quite some time, but you haven't had a lot of fights. There was a big hiatus, like 10 years. What was going on in that time that you stepped away from fighting before you got back into it?
Yeah, I took my first fight at 16 against Martinez Bradley. I told them that I was 18. It was supposed to be against somebody else. The guy had backed out. It was at a 175 bout. I actually cut all the way to 164 for that bout. I trained my hardest that I've ever trained. I really haven't even trained that hard since. That was my first fight. And losing that fight to a front choke, my coach at the time, Don Richardson, I don't know if you know who that is. He was old king of the cage. He was my jiu-jitsu coach, my MMA coach, and he just said that there were things that I wasn't ready for. When it comes to fighting, he knew I was very skilled, and he knew that my mind was there, but there's small mistakes that through training and more sparring and things like that. I wasn't sparring a lot when I was a kid. I really wasn't aggressive at all. I really had no ill intent in my heart at all to fight. I loved the training and I loved the sport back then. But now it's just I have to, and this is a job for me. This isn't fun. This isn't anything but something I have to do. And that's why I prosper in it, because it's a feeling of have to instead of love. And things you love, you don't always put 100% in, but things you have to get up in the morning. You're going to get up in the morning. So I treat this as something I have to do, and I always will.
Now, tell me the story. You were training at home for most of the time in between, and then you walked into a UFC gym. Is that correct? And that kind of started the whole process.
Yeah. So we were training out of my coach Tom's garage. We still work in there every now and then, but the original garage we had was taken late last year before my fight by a hurricane. So we lost our gym, lost our garage. I started speaking to Osivo Brito. He's Ozzy Brito. He's a big UFC. He comes to all these. He goes to all the press runs. He's a big fan of the sport. He opened 2 UFC gyms in Florida, one in Largo, one in Pinellas Park. He hit my dad up on Facebook Marketplace asking for the power plate that we have, if we'd sell it. And my dad said, why don't you trade my son a year membership for it instead of the money? So we train out of the UFC gym, Largo, Octagon. We don't do the classes. We don't do the other things. We just use the Octagon. So it's not much farther from the garage. It just has cage walls instead of, concrete. So other than that, man, me and my coach has always kept me ready no matter what we have. We're able to work ground. We're able to, I've started off my career as jiu-jitsu. That was my baseline, was jiu-jitsu. Now that I'm able to throw hands, I enjoy that more, and it wins. Why would I try to show somebody something I have or don't have when possibly that doesn't finish? It finishes doing what I do. So I'll just continue to do what I do until there needs to be a plan B, and that'll never happen. So I'll just continue to do what I have to do.
And that seems like the mindset that Dana seems to be wanting, everybody always hears the speeches that Dana used to have to always do, but now it seems like people don't have to have those speeches. They understand what the job is in there. So when you go in there tomorrow, it's finish or nothing for you. I can take that.
Yeah, of course. It's always a finish or nothing. I know that he has his opinions on how it is and how it's going to be and things like that. But nobody understands until they're in front of me. He was talking big to the other interviewers and these small-time interviewers that they doubt me and doubt me. They've doubted me every one of my fights, and they've lost every time on their picks. And he was talking the way he was talking. He called me a cocksucker. There's a lot of things that I don't like, and I never said a word about him. And to say the things you say about me and then stand here in front of me and ask me to put on a good show and be nice to me is an insult to me and the sport itself. So unless you're here to die for real, I would choose another opponent or another way to the UFC other than standing in front of me, because that's not a very definitive road to stand in front of the Daywalker himself. And I'm telling you, he claims what he claims, and he claims that I distance. He's going to cut me up, and he's going to do this and that. He's going down in the first round. It's going to be the loudest body you've ever heard hit the canvas. And I promise you, he's going to regret ever talking to me the way he talked to me, and people can continue to throw me under the rug, and I'm going to pull a vacuum out, and I'm going to vacuum everything around me, and I'm going to suck him in, and he's going to run out of space, and he's going to run right into what I want him to run into. He will go to sleep. He's never been to sleep. He's never been punched hard. He talks about, I've never fought people, and I've this, and my combined people that I've fought are 6 and 8, and all this other bullshit. And everybody wants to compare what somebody's done or who they train with or whatever. I got me, I got my brother, I got my coach, and I got my girl, and I got my manager. And that's my small little corner, and that's really all I need. Listen, we went into Nico, he owns Capos, Santucci. We went into his house yesterday. Okay, and it shows me to be a billionaire, you don't need 100 people. The guy's got one guy. So I got me and my little crew, and to the $1 billion we go. I'll have matching Bentleys for me and my manager. So just look for us out on the strip after this one.
Is this fight personal? Did he make it personal?
Every fight for me is personal. This is fighting. This isn't baseball. If you lose, you're done. You suck. This is a battle between you and yourself. It's only you to blame. You can't blame your coach that he didn't put you through enough sprints. He didn't weight train with you enough. You just chose to go in there and showcase that you're not good enough. That's all on you. It has nothing to do with a team. It has nothing to do with where you train. It has everything to do with what's inside of you. And if the have to isn't inside of you, then it's only a matter of time before you have to lose. And he will lose again. 5-1, Denzel Freeman was my size and didn't even have a fraction of the knockout power regardless of who he's fought. So they discount my ground game. My first win was of a submission regardless of him being 1-7 in his 2 first pro fights being Jamal Hill and Cody Brundage. He wasn't scared of me, and he was a jiu-jitsu coach at that. And I tapped him out. And Justin Harbison, 31 seconds. Jerry Watterson, the win they took away from me for marijuana. Okay? Everybody wants to claim I can piss through a cup because I'm just so jacked, okay? I'm jacked with nothing but za and kush. If anybody wants to meet me after and roll one up and we can show why the suspension came, I'll outsmoke anybody out there. So it's never been for steroids, and it's never been for performance enhancing. The only performance enhancing that I've had was smoking a pen when I shouldn't have. So other than that, man, you cannot discount me anymore. I have a fight time under 1 professional round. I haven't even gone 5 minutes, and it's not because I don't have cardio. It's because you all suck. So show up Tuesday or don't, or stay at the buffet wherever he wants to go. But it'll always go the way I want it to because I have to do this.
I love it. I'm super psyched for it. But last question, what if he shows up with a jar of pickles?
If he shows up with a jar of pickles, he's definitely getting whooped. I can't stand pickles. I'll cry like a baby. Don't bring a pickle around me unless you want to scrap. That's the #1 insult. I can't stand it. So keep them away from me, man. Avocados or whatever they're made from. I don't know. Fucking cucumbers.
I love it. Thanks so much.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.